It's like the best video ever.
This is crazy.
We got 25 minutes. We gotta go.
What's going on? Oh man. Is it wrong that we get excited about our own intro video? Like every time I see it, it actually genuinely gets me excited to be on with you guys. I'm so excited about being here with you guys. Another Wednesday, people.
Another Wednesday. And today is episode 7.
Which is also a really cool thing. 7 is my favorite number for all my people out there. Drop it in the chat. Let's hear what your favorite numbers are.
Mine is actually 6.
Oh wow! See, that's why we get along so well. You're right there with me. Not quite the 7, but you're right there with me. Well, guys, it is episode 7. For everybody that checked out our last episode, guys, thank you so much. We had a lot of people who was excited about having our first guest right on Bench Talk. It was an epic episode, and today is definitely not going to disappoint. Janelle, what is today's question?
So today's question, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Today's question is, does entrepreneurship mean you have to spend less time with friends and family? I don't know.
All right, let's get the 25 minutes on the clock, folks.
25 minutes on the clock. Here we go.
I'm going to have Janelle take us on. Let's go. And the clock is running.
Awesome. So I have an answer for this. I don't know. I go back and forth about this. I think that you can still spend time with friends and family. And then I think, nah, like you really can't. Not if you really want to get to where you need to go to. So I waver back and forth about this.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And I'm definitely going to say, I guess a short answer would be no. Not to be counter to what Janelle's saying. And I think when we get into it a little bit deeper, I'll give a little bit more. But we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves because we have our second guest to Bench Talk. Somebody who is a great friend of both of ours. But before I do that, let's check out our new Bench Talk intro video. Another video I get excited about. But no, guys, the gentleman that we have on today is somebody who is an amazing, great friend of mine, a great friend of ours, somebody who we've been blessed to spend some real intimate time. He's shared and impacted my life. I know my family's life in a great way. I know that, he's actually had the opportunity to spend time with Janelle, travel with Janelle. And he is somebody who is an author. He's an entrepreneur, businessman, has done a lot in the corporate America world, and is able to take a lot of that skills. There we go, the echo, taking that skill, guys, and translated it into a lot of successful ventures. And, it's an honor to have him on the show. So, guys, it is my amazing pleasure to introduce you guys to our guest today on Bench Talk, Mr. AC.
Wait. Can I get excited about my intro? You guys are excited about yours. I'm like, man, hey, listen, I appreciate it, guys. Let me tell you, first of all, thank you for having me on. Second of all, you all's intro, I happened to be there when you were filming that part, right? And I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool, remember? So, no, that was good, man. I feel like I'm on a production show and everything. Janelle and Winston, my brother and sister. Hey, I love it. I'm here. Let's talk.
Awesome. All right, so AC, let's throw the question to you. Maybe you could share a little bit about who you are. Allow people, we know that you're an author, we know that you're doing amazing, but tell us a little bit about maybe yourself, and then you can dive into the question. Does entrepreneurship mean you have to spend less time with friends and family?
I'm gonna take the long route in there. Does entrepreneurship mean that you have to spend less time with your friends and family? So the short answer is, for a short period of time, yes, you do, right? So that you can have more time with them in the future. A lot of us don't want to give up anything, but want everything, right? And so you got to give up something to get what you truly want. You know, you got to let go of certain things, at least for a season in your time, period of time, to get where you need to go. And so that's the true answer. It's a hard answer sometimes. For me, I'll be honest, it's an easy answer because just sharing my background, real quick, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, went to high school and college in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, undergrad at Southern, MBA at LSU. But throughout my life, in terms of growing up in St. Louis, it put a perspective on where I am today, right? Because a lot of times people see, Arthur, they see maybe, humbly successful businessman, humbly successful family man. But, times haven't always been like that, right? Mm-hmm. And my perspective on the question is driven by my perspective on my background in my life in terms of how do I get to the next level? What do you give up to get there, right? And you're going to have to give up time with your friends and family to get where you want to go in terms of an entrepreneurship, right? And so, but with that, coming from St. Louis, going to Baton Rouge, and that kind of played into my story as well in terms of the book, Persist Until Success Happens, because everything that happens in your life happens for you, not to you, right? That's how I see it, right? And that was really part of it. And when I look at your question again, this kind of stuff happens for me. It's good for me to spend less time with my family and friends so that I can, become the entrepreneur and leader and legacy builder that I need to be in the future, right? And so that first part of my story, that's how I came about and grew up, if you would. A lot of little anecdotal stories in there, but professionally, started out in restaurant management for about 7 or 8 years. No, actually 9 or 10 years. Here's what I'll tell you. We actually moved 11 times in 10 years. Think about what are you giving up to try to go get that prize, right? And that's what we were doing. My wife and I, we were sacrificing time and family time to come up, right? And we weren't even entrepreneurs. We were just in corporate America, if you would. Oh, by the way, bonus training. In corporate America, you're going to give up a whole lot of time to get to where you really want to go. And so it's kind of like the same thing. The only difference is if you do it from an entrepreneurial standpoint the correct way, you'll have so much time in your life in the future, right? And so, but kind of real quick, corporate America that way, I ended up working with PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, Fortune 100 company for about 9 years. Kind of went up their ladder, if you would, from, in supply chain, finance, ended up vice president of finance. And then that's when really the entrepreneurship bug really started hitting Winston and Janelle, because, you go up the ladder, you think you've done what you're supposed to do and quote unquote being successful, house, cars and things like that. But then you realize that you don't have the time that you want to spend with your family, right? And so if you think about it in corporate America, you're going to always give up that time. But from an entrepreneur standpoint, you can give it up right now, work as hard as you want, build what you want, and then later on, you have all that time for your family, right? And so that's why I first saw it when I was at Frito-Lay. Ended up leaving Frito-Lay, worked with Radio Shack, another Fortune 500 company for about 9 years. And then finally, about 6 years ago, I got into direct sales, network marketing. I consider myself proud to be a professional network marketer, right? And with that in mind, when I look at, lastly, just to kind of round it off, when I look at that question, it's an easy question for those who want to be successful. The answer is yes, you do have to give that up for a season in your life so that you can have the rest of your life to live with them.
I love that.
That's really awesome. If you're getting value from this, please type it in the chat. Type a V or the whole word value if you got a lot of value from that. That was really good.
I love it for sure. So the one thing I want to, and I actually had a couple questions now that I'm thinking of, but for us to answer the original question as well, I'm still leading with my no. And the reason is, and I think AC, you started to allude to it a little bit, is even when you were in that corporate America space, you were giving up time with your friends and family as it is now, right?
Right.
and you were doing that because there was a ladder there that you were looking to climb, a ladder or something that you were moving towards. And the reason why I say no now is when I think of the when I look at how I structure things now, and I'm speaking from a place where again, we've been in this now for about 6-7 years in terms of network marketing. And what I think I do now is I think I'm actually a lot more intentional with my time. So I feel like I actually am spending more quality time. And this may not be a great answer to it, but I feel like I'm actually spending more quality time with my friends and family because I have to actually put on a schedule myself, time that I'm spending with my kids, times that I'm spending, with my significant other. Whereas before, because I actually had, even working and doing what I was doing, I had so much free time. Because I mean, let's keep it real. A lot of what we talk to people about network marketing is this idea of let's fit it in the margins. Right. Let's fit this business in between the times you're doing. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I definitely want to hear Janelle's take on this. I don't want people leaving this believing that, your corporate America job was replaced by a network marketing profession, which took you 8 hours, 10, 12 hours a day. And so you were having to, not be with your family. I recognize, obviously, there were times where you maybe had to give up being with your family to go to an event, a training, or something to that effect. But speak to, and again, maybe I'll let Janelle go first. If you guys understand where I'm going. I think now I feel a lot more structured with my time and deliberate and intentional with my time that I spend with friends and family. Janelle, what do you think?
My gosh, this is something that I struggle with all the time. And I feel like, especially during the pandemic, this was, I started to really put the calendar to work, like scheduling, just like even if it was scheduling meditation, scheduling, this is when I eat breakfast, this is when I do this, this is when I'm gonna call people on the team, this is when I'm gonna call, someone to share with them the information. Like, I had to literally schedule it and then honor the time. That for me has changed everything for me. So sometimes, so like you guys, I'm a budding author, I'm writing a book. And so during that phase of like even writing the book, I found that like I'm doing all these things and then I'm like, when am I gonna find time to write the book? And so I started to schedule the time in. And even if I was enjoying something, I had to honor the fact that I had scheduled it for just that half hour or just that hour. And now that time was over. And I needed to stop that and move on to the next thing. And I was writing. And at first it was like, I gotta write. And then it was, oh my gosh, I'm really enjoying. I'm like in the zone. I'm going. And then the time is over and I need to sit. And so sometimes I'd be like, no, you know what? It's okay. I'm in the zone. Let me just keep writing. I can do that next thing later. And let me tell you, every single time I didn't honor that, I always felt worse. Like, you need to honor the time that you do the thing that you love just as much as you honor the time that you do the thing that is a struggle for you. Because if you give it the exact time that you scheduled in, then you feel like you're fully present in that time that you have. And then you can go to sleep at night without feeling like, oh my God, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Honoring the time was what I learned actually during this pandemic. So like scheduling, yeah. If that makes sense to anyone out there, please let me know. I might be the only one, but if it makes sense to you, let us know.
No, it's good. It made me think about a couple things. To Winston's point, in terms of from a network marketing standpoint, when we first start out, and for 99% of the folks, it's in between the margins. It's 30 minutes, it's an hour a day, right? It's persistently given to your craft, right? We spent 18 years in general learning all this other stuff. And now we need to learn how to be network marketers, right? Relationship driven, if you would. And so, from that perspective, it starts out that way. But as you build, and so part of my story, 6.5 years ago, we started out part-time, just 30 minutes a day. I used to commute an hour and a half one way, right? So in between the margins is how I built this, right? But I built it so that residually it would pay me over time. 2.5 years later, I was able to walk away, right? But I had to do that consistently and give that season of my life to that, right?
Wait. Hold on. Before you go ahead, AC, just for the people who are out there, because again, this audience is a lot of people who are new to network marketing, some who have been in it. How long did it take you? I just wanted to hear you say that part. Go ahead.
2.5 years, 2.5 years, maybe 3 years to go full time. You
Very
don't
good.
just get into something and become full-time, whatever that is. That's not how it works. First, you got to learn it anyway, but you just get into it in the margins. You learn it. It's your plan B. It's your plan B. You're digging your second well before that first well runs dry, right? We learned that in the pandemic, right? And so you dig it and you dig it and you dig it and you dig it and you dig it. And all of a sudden, I had 2 wells. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I got 2 wells. Well, now I can just move over. I can concentrate on the 3rd well, if you would, because I've built that. And so it's not full-time right away, and that's really the sacrifice. When I say time, I'm including time as part-time in the margins and doing your regular job, right? That's what I call sacrificing the total amount of time, right? And now that I step back from that, kind of to Janelle's point, I think of like a closet. The pandemic is like a closet because we had so much time. And you notice if people have closet space, they'll put a lot of stuff in there. They'll fill it up. They'll put all kind of stuff in the closet. You can give them a small closet, they'll fill it up. Big closet, they'll fill it up, right? And the pandemic gave us so much time, right? We would, you just start filling it up. You guys can probably, in the chat, there was times where you felt like you didn't even have enough time because you were doing so much stuff, right? And so it made me think about you, Janelle, in terms of scheduling everything. I literally had to do that. I run everything by my calendar, right? And it does give me more quality time with my family and friends now, right? Because it's kind of scheduled in. And that's how I do that. Yep.
Well, let's talk about that. And I think we all maybe are all on the same page in the sense that we recognize that, yes, I think the answer is yes, but you can be, again, intentional about the idea that we are going to be honest. You have to spend some time away from your friends and family. I love what AC said. In the beginning, it was maybe 30 minutes to an hour, which is what I was told, when I got involved with this industry. I love that person was transparent with me. And the reality of it was because I was working a full-time job. So this wasn't something, I actually looked at it and thought, there's no way that I could actively do this. I happened to see a video when I was introduced to the idea. So for the person talking to me, it was, well, we're just going to share this video. So I thought, I can maximize this. How many people can I show at the same time so I could really work this 30-minute? But I love that you also acknowledge as it started to grow, you recognize you had to devote more time to it. But that made it
easier to do. Yeah,
exactly. The thing I wanted to talk about, and I definitely want us to get into your book, is talk to me about, I guess, the psychology of moving after creating that second well into even being open, because we definitely look at you as an entrepreneur, somebody who's working in different arenas. What prompted you to write a book? What was it that drove that? I know Janelle, like she said, is coming out with her book. Wait till that drops, guys. I can't wait for us to premiere that here. But talk to us, AC, about your book. And I know you said you had it with you.
Yeah.
Can you actually just share that for everybody who wants to go and get it?
Did you get it? No. So listen, I know Janelle. Is it mirrored, Janelle?
Hold on, let me make sure AC is the top person now. There we go.
So Janelle, she likes to make sure things are mirrored properly. And I don't know if it's mirrored for Janelle, but it's persist until success happens. And I wrote the book, it wasn't to make money. It was to develop me more, right? And to also give back and help others follow the path or think through the path that I had to think through. And what I wrote the book about really was the mindset that you asked, Winston, was the mindset that allows you to move and to really, because we all have to adjust all the time, to move and be open to learning and being teachable and being coachable, trying to be successful, or, dropping your ego. What is that mindset that allows you to do that? What gave you the mindset to do that? And so the same mindset that gave me the idea of writing the book, or in the book, is the same mindset that allows me to humbly be successful, is that I look at everything as it happens for me, as it doesn't matter what comes up, and actually in the book, I tell you, there's 2 or 3 paths you can take. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what path you take. Just take a freaking path and do it with energy, do it with passion, and just be motivated and stay on the path, right? It's not wrong until you decide that you want to do something else. Just stay on it and stay on it and stay on it, and success just happens. Now, along the way, though, if you think about it, in my story was that I had opportunities in my life where things changed, whether it was moving from St. Louis to Baton Rouge, or moving to a high school, or going to college, or all those things. And every single time every single time, I couldn't tell you why I did it, but I can tell you that I did it. I looked at it so positively that I knew I was going to make it successful. I was going to make it work. You know what I mean? And that's truly what I was writing about in terms of persisting until success happens. Just keep going down the path. Don't double think yourself or whatever. Of course, you're going to think about what you're doing and make a decision and let's go. And so that was really part of it. And there were many stories in my life that allowed me, when I look back, I was like, I can't believe, real quickly, I left St. Louis, Missouri when I was 13 years old. I was going to high school, right? And you think about a kid now, if they're going to high school and now they're going to up and leave. Oh, by the way, I was doing fairly well athletically. And just so you guys know, I did play college baseball, right? And so, I was doing really good. And the thing about it, I didn't even hesitate to go. They were like, hey, we're moving. I'm like, oh, let's go. Because I can't wait to see what's on the other side. I can't wait to see what's there, right? That's because I know I'm going to make it work. Just let me get there, right? Oh, by the way, when I got there, my second year there, we changed to another high school. Didn't even matter. I said, let me see what happens, right? And so if you would, that mindset that I've always had that everything can work out if you just stay down that path, really works to my advantage. I tell folks this, I look at the glass that's half empty and the glass that's half full as the same. It's the same because it doesn't matter until I do what I'm supposed to do to make it work. Right. So that's kind of my take on it. Everything I look at, there's always, you can say a silver lining to it, but you can always find the solution to what you're trying to do down that path. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Good. That's good.
Give me some more. Give me some more.
Well, I love what someone in the comments they threw up and just said is what the question we should ask ourselves is what we're doing or what we're about to do, is how we're about to spend this time going to get us closer or further away from that goal.
Yeah.
And I think thank you for that, Annie. I think you definitely hit that on the head. I want to understand how is that age you could have had that mindset though. That's
what I was thinking.
As I think back, I think it was just through athletics as a kid. I tell everybody, you want to. There have been successful people that have never competed in sports. I'm not saying you have to compete in sports, but that is what was inside of me. Just competing in sports as a kid, from a 6-year-old, baseball, football, basketball, repeat, wash, repeat, wash, repeat. And so what I didn't realize is all those coaches. Now watch this now. All those coaches were mentors. Right? They were mentors. And I didn't realize that they were teaching me lessons. There's things that I do today that I still hear them say, fatigue makes cowards of us all. Right. Things like that. Right. I remember those things. And so that mindset was developed young because of that. Think about we're in business now. What do we want to do? We look for mentors and, we look to be in groups that push us in that way. I was just blessed to have that growing up. And I think that in sports in general, that happens at a young age and can be can be nurtured and can be counted on. I can tell you this, every kid knows their little league coaches more than they know their high school coaches. No matter what sport you play, because that's how much of an impact they make on your lives. And I think, and again, that's where I got it from. Those mentors, if you would, at a young age compete. Yeah. So that's how I got it. I can sell it $2.25 for it.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for that. Guys, we are with.
Did that answer? Did that answer, Winston?
Yeah.
You guys succeed. I can get excited about this stuff because I love life. People hear me talk. I love life. One thing that, and I was listening to you, Winston and Janelle, you guys are wonderful. I learned from every situation that I'm in. And I do have triggers. And one of my triggers is negative thoughts and negative things that go on in life, because I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the solution to what that is. You know what I mean? It's like you hear all this stuff. I want to go too far on the news or whatever. That's not even fascinating to me. What's interesting and fascinating is what's the solution to it. You know what I mean? Because we can keep repeating the problem over and over again. We can talk about it till the cows come home. I got that when I moved down south. Just want you to know. We can talk about it till the cows come home, right? But I'm just saying, we got to have the solution. And in life, you just want to find all the solutions, right? Life's nothing but a series of tests. That's all it is. Yep. Wow.
This has been amazing. And I can't believe that our 25 minutes has been up. So I just want to let everybody. I just want to let everybody, if you're watching this live, if you're watching this on the replay, please put in the comments, thank you. Let AC know that you're getting value from him. You can find him on Instagram at the Williams Legacy. That's WMS is short for Williams. You can find him on Facebook at AC Williams. Please continue the movement, right? I mean, what we brought today was huge. I certainly got a lot of value of that. The whole fatigue makes a coward of us all. I am going to be saying that.
Yeah, that had me. That had me. I don't know if you guys caught that. When he said that, I was just like, I had to sit back.
Look, you guys provide
which coach is this, man? Which coach talking to people like little kids like this?
Well, you're running and kids get tired and stuff, and he's like, fatigue makes cowards, and you're like, but it starts to apply in different ways,
Yeah.
Real quick, FYI, I'm with my dad here in St. Louis and my brother, and we were talking about some stuff. We were actually, when I played college baseball at Southern University, and just so you guys know, we just won our 26th baseball championship this past Sunday. Right. And so anyway, that Sunday morning, I woke up and we were out, my dad and we were working in the yard doing some stuff. And I was telling him things that my college coach had told me, it would just all start coming back right that day. Cause I'm thinking about that. And there were life lessons in the same thing, in terms of what he was saying, what he was doing. I'd rather be lucky than good any day, think just certain things he would say. So
I'm actually going to cut you off there because I do want to continue that conversation. Any of you who want to continue the conversation in overtime, we're going to go on to overtime. You can find our Patreon down below and then catch the out of
Which way we going? What room we going in, Janelle? We're going overtime. You guys come with me.
Yeah, join us on Patreon, become one of our community members, and you can catch the rest of the conversation over there. I have a bunch of questions.
Go wherever they say go. We're going.
That's where we're going. See you guys next time on Say That Channel. And we are going to close out with our closeout thing that we say.
The outro, the Say That outro thingy that we say.
Is it an outro? Is that what we do?
I don't know. I know it is my turn though. So guys, as always, remember, you deserve
good life.
Say that. Hashtag say that. Play my video again.
Guys,
we can go.
Have an amazing week, guys, and we will see you guys on overtime for all our Patreon people. Have an amazing day, guys.